Let's continue. 60 Hearthstone problems. The iceberg to reveal how broken the game really is, and which problems are the worst and should be tackled as quickly as possible. Oh, why nothing on the tier list? I had to reset. My computer crashed. I don't have enough RAM apparently. I have personal problems, and I still have to deal with that. And then I have to deal with haters who don't like my video because they get better videos from somewhere. I'm not sure. I do praise this as the most important video for people to watch to get familiar with Hearthstone because I have experience. I don't have experience climbing to top 1000 legend because I don't want to have brain damage, obviously. It's just a game, guys. But I would like the game to work. If the game doesn't want to work, then we're gonna have to seek another place that does not have these problems, right? We're just gonna see the same problems of like, do you have it? How does it work in your game? So this touches a lot of card games, not just Hearthstone. Hearthstone just happens to be at the very top of the food chain. Funny enough, I want to mention this. Reynad stitched together with itself. Zeddy stitched together with itself. Reynad stitched together with itself, but only separated by a line break. Man, there's some glitch in the matrix going on. Or everyone finds their own level, like water and oil. Even the rants have found their own level somehow. It's just a weird observation, and thanks for subscribing. Maybe when I reach 1000 subscribers, I can actually earn $1 per video, and not 0. And maybe that will incentivize to do something extra. I don't know. But for now, we're just gonna have to deal with haters in the comments getting banned because I don't want haters in the comments. I'd rather just have it empty. I don't know. I can fill it up with hate myself. Or with anything I want myself. I don't need it. For people to say that they enjoyed a thing that doesn't reward me, just, I get rewarded for expressing myself. That's it. I have gathered experience and I'm doing the best I can to figure out how Hearthstone has tricked me. Because even this screenshot, I will be playing this in the background. I'll be playing this playlist. Not necessarily because it's important to the context of the video, but it's a Subway Surfer situation, you know, like, if people want to be entertained by not me yapping, there's going to be something in the corner playing it. And even this screenshot reveals something weird. First of all, why this card was not played for so long. A combo has been found that can clear 4 minions at once, any size. These all are poisonous. Poisonous Rush is the most cringe thing ever that did not exist until now, until people discovered this combo. And they did discover it for a very, very long time. They didn't play this shit. They played Plague DK without this Borkler. And now it's literally, the game is literally unplayable because of this combo. You want to have brain damage climbing to top 1000 legend. I mean, holy shit. I don't know how people do it, but, you know, they incentivize with money because that's what you get for being at the top of the community. But there's the bottom of the community who can still do things, right? Without hating each other. Would be nice. And so the Death Knight is still the most toxic thing in Hearthstone. Funny enough. It should be its own thing that comes from this button. Just Death Knight alone. And I'm not a stranger to just adding things on a whim. We in fact will say that. Death Knight goes in. Raron wants to delete Demon Hunter from the game. I have an issue of my own. There's a thing called Mage. I want to delete Mage too. Might as well add that on the list. shuffle, and begin part 2 of this video. Again, I had to reset everything because there's some issues with my RAM. Everything fucking glitched out. So we're starting fresh almost, but we're gonna skip all these things that we already know about. Fair deal amount. This is more of a podcast, not something like overwhelmingly entertaining. It's just for people who really need to know what are the problems, what to focus on, so they don't lose their minds over it. That they know it's a problem and not some skill issue, you know. But people complaining about my content, that is a skill issue. You just have to find better content. That's it, bro. So let's begin. Every single time I need a score to make sure I keep track of like where generally I have to put the thing in. Blizzard is notorious for blocking OTKs from existing and nerfing that shit because obviously you're not supposed to be able to do that, right? Even recently, like, Lightning Bolt Shaman is a thing. Most of the spells, they get spell boost, spell damage boost, and then they cost 0 mana for some reason. But Blizzard is unable to fucking nerf the goddamn thing. This OTK nonsense that deals plenty of damage as long as it just collects a few cards. And there's not many counters to that. See, OTKs are fundamentally something you cannot interact with. They're meant to deal 30 damage, almost exactly, at certain time in the game. Like, if Blizzard obviously negated that 0 mana thing, if there weren't that many discounts, but there's also Sith Mage going around, so there's 2 decks right now in Standard. Right now there's still 2 OTK decks, and technically Druid is also an OTK deck, the hero power Druids. None of these things are interactive in any way. Oh wait, Odin is also pretty much OTK. And you actually see in the Trollden video of Ties getting destroyed with an OTK. This poison thing that you just saw, the next thing that happened, he got killed even though he froze the opponent's face. It was over. He still found 30 damage. Countering and interacting with OTKs, like, that's why Blizzard would want to nerf this stuff, but it doesn't nerf fast enough for some reason. Now, Odin Warrior is not as good, because it comes down on turn 9, you have plenty of things to do up until turn 9. But the Mage OTK now is turning into insanity for me. Like, I literally can't play the game because no matter how big my minions are, they're just going to get frozen, and they're going to give armor to Mage. Now I've seen Mage with 50 armor casually freezing my minions at the same time. They don't need to clear my minions, they just have to stall the game for long enough to shoot me down with a bunch of spells. It's game over, you know? Where am I supposed to get armor? Because the only thing that counters OTKs is armor, and armor is known to be pretty fucking toxic shit too. So, what do I do? There's nothing I can do. The only counter is rat. And it's the funniest thing that we only just have rats, and that's it. It's the only fucking counter. Is there more, however? Yes, there is more. Have I not mentioned all the OTKs? I did not mention all the OTKs. Right now, in the game, OTKs are so prominent. This goes to A, because I forgot to talk about Zarimi Priest. The priest that summons a bunch of 1-drops then summons a bunch of 0-drops, then summons the dragon and attacks you, everything, with the Wind Fury. Congratulations. Are you happy now with the game? Basically, everything has to be an OTK to function in this goddamn awful game. And I don't actually like it, because all of a sudden now it's just RNG of like which cards you're gonna get, how you're gonna stitch them together. You're calculating shit constantly in your hand, but your opponent sees absolutely nothing. It's terrible game design to leave OTKs unhinged like that. OTK, as I understand, can deal like 15 extra damage, can be the bloodlust on the board of like, oh, if your opponent does not clear the board right now, I buff the board and I defeat my opponent. Or I buff a minion with Wind Fury and I smash into my opponent for, 10 extra damage or something like that. Something can happen that your opponent has to do to stop you from dealing like extra disgusting amount of damage. But in this case right now, it's just random. It's just random shit, and rat is also random. So you get absolutely no control over anything at all. OTKs are disgusting to the game. And they are no longer, checked out. Another thing that was considered technically an OTK and was complained about by Zeddy, which pisses me off, almost putting this at S tier, is Sharpshooter. Shit, I forgot to press play, guys. Watch him die, guys. So Sharpshooter got nerfed, but there's still many OTKs that are even less interactive. They're fucking less interactive. And Zeddy was crying about this one OTK, bro. Jesus fucking Christ, man. This is how long it takes to cover this one topic, right? Because I have to drill into my brain of like, what do I remember about this? This video is not easy to make. And I don't know who is capable of doing that. Who is able to collect all this information and stitch things together. Losing cool cards. So after rotation happens, I have became accustomed and in a pattern of crying about certain cards. So I lost my dragon activation for druids. I lost fucking Maverick, my favorite Pokemon, bro. I lost the ability to turn my deck into dragons. That kind of sucks. Even back in the day, I was attached to Milrogue, and for a very or short period of time, right? Druid was able to mill the opponent in recent times. But that ability completely rotated, and before it rotated, Blizzard was like, nah, we're gonna, nerf it as well. Which didn't make much sense, but okay. Blizzard just doesn't care to keep good cards in the game. I want to go over, because I can, in the collection, and just look over the 3 expansions that rotated and all the shit that we have lost. That might have been cool cards, right? So we're gonna start from 0 and wait until Hearthstone fucking loads. And let's check it out. If we find anything cool. Obviously, I'm not gonna miss shitty cards that just clear the board. That's not interesting to me. But let's see, anything cool, guys. Like, this is cool, I like this. And I don't play many other classes besides druids. I do miss Unending Swarm. That was very interesting to me. This looks like a fun card. I'm not sure how it works. Because I never got to play it. Because I don't want to play Mage, so I guess we're not going to talk about it. This is a cool pirate that would be useful right now. If it didn't goddamn rotate. Or is it still there? I mean, I don't know. It just feels like it's there, but it's not. Concoctions, certain mechanics are like super cool, but this one questionable. Some really cool tempo cards like Suffusion would have been nice to keep. This could have been evergreen. Getting ourselves a bunch of taunts because it's completely harmless card, but it's just value. Someone would play it. I think that's a very cool card that most people have to experience because of the way it works. It's very complicated. This one questionable, but I will still consider it cool. Allowing genuine OTKs because you can genuinely interact with this card at least. Let's check one more expansion. Losing locations in general is a pretty big disaster. One of the most satisfying cards to have in your collection. I don't know how I passed through this, but of course, my special Activate the Dragon card effect. Yeah, it's like Blizzard doesn't pay attention to what actually is fun and doesn't keep it in the game. What do you expect? It's a big-ass problem now. In general, for the rest of the game effects, rotating feels really bad because you should be able to do something with that most of the time. Because, you know, some people want to play control and there can be more control decks that way. And Blizzard wouldn't fucking mind keeping legendaries usable, you know. At least keep legendaries, like it doesn't make sense for Blizzard to not do that. Keep certain legendaries. They're cool and proven to not be broken. But Blizzard is also very scared, you know, of, like, keeping cards because they could be broken, I guess, and not fun. But, like, we literally had the experience. I like this card. There could be more neutral cards, but instead we have this core garbage set. I think it's a B. If not A. It's very close to A. I'm just gonna double check. Again, Zeddy would miss Renathal. That's what he cares about. Not me, though. It's just like, oh, it's fair to all the cards because we rotate many cards. So might as well rotate all of them. But let's just not... It's a problem now. Anyways. We talked about that one card. Or haven't we? Because there's always this power creep nonsense going on. And in this case, we just have to see that one card. Can we see it for... Yep. There's definitely that one card in there. There's definitely... I'm gonna give a bonus point, because these cards have to be played viciously. What is the definition of that one card? Well, the definition is that one card that gets played over and over and over and over again. Just way too many times. Zeddy complains about Zilliax. In fact, this is a genuine definition of that one card. There's always that one card that breaks the game, but nobody does anything about it. It's hard. It's just hard, bro, to do anything, right? So now every single expansion we have that one card. For how long we gonna have that one card? Let's find out. So the Badlands saw the rise of Reno. That one card. Every single time we find that one card, uninterrupted, is +2. And I will be able to, like, jump across one expansion if I don't find that one card. What is that one card over here? Well, there is one. It's called Prison of Yogg-Saron, and a lot of people play that one card from this expansion. Not many other cards, but the actual card is actually, like, Ignis. That one card can win the game. And it exists. Why not other legendaries are good enough to be played at all? This one is not played, this one is not played. I play this one sometimes. But, like, come on, man. Come on. I don't know how someone can tell me in the comments that I can just simplify the video somehow and it's gonna work. I want to be fully aware of what's going on. I haven't even pressed crafting, by the way, because I clearly don't have all the legendaries. Double check. Most other legendaries are completely useless. Besides Ziliax, because it can be anything, technically. But it can also be very broken that way. Because you can't even, like, predict Ziliax ever. Unpredictable. And then there's Yogg. A little bit more rare, so technically just kind of stitches together with this legendary location. Guess what? Festival of Legend does not have that one card. That's crazy, guys. Instead of that, it has that one card, which is like the coolest fucking shit ever. That I usually die while playing this instead of my opponent. I don't know, bro. It happens. It activates their brain cells, and I'm just like, haha! I activated your brain cells, you don't have any, and realize that they in fact do have brain cells. And never wanted to share them with anyone. Yeah, that one amalgam. Nope. So we actually skipping that one. But then we have Astalor. I would consider this a card. For a lot of control decks, it's like essential. And there's that one card. And they add a jailer afterwards because they have to print that one card that everyone wants to play. And it's like super playable and it breaks the game. Which is weird, but like, come on, man. So we're back to the chain. I want to break the chain by seeing nothing for 2 expansions. If I see nothing, it's over. This is nice. This is a good card, a cool card, bro. That works, but it doesn't break the game, and you see it unfolds. So I think we don't have that one card. We do have Colossals. But at least you know how to play around them, to some extent. How to prepare yourself. Kazaku-san, that one card, guys. Oh my god. And this would include Raid Boss. Because that shit disgusting. We're deep in here. Most people no longer familiar with this set. Stormwind. Does Stormwind have that one card? Mr. Smite is pretty toxic. I guess not. I really hate this one. It does feel like that one card because it can clear the board pretty efficiently. So, personally. But I think that chain is broken. I'll give a bonus point. It's a recent addition. But I hate it so much. Because it's just a reoccurring villain. And it's not even that fun. Ziliax is technically pretty fun. But once people figure out how to maximize Ziliax outputs, it's just devastating. There is more to it. There's just that one card that gets played way too many times. Staff? I've seen it way too many times. Now there's this combo being played way too many times. And it has ridiculous power. The Primus. I think we're gonna give 1 point for 3 cards that just literally stand out and like breaks your brain. This one is obvious. That one card, that one combo. Was it nerfed already, or are we still waiting for the patch? We're still waiting for the patch. The fuck? Does Druid have that one card? Of course it doesn't have that one card. That's why it fucking loses. What do you expect? That's what makes the game unbalanced, clearly. That one card that you have to put into your goddamn deck to be competitive is so painful. That one card that enables OTKs and all that shit. It's not fun. It's easy to nerf. What the fuck's the problem? Already at B tier. That one card that can win the game by itself. What the hell, bro? And for a paladin, it has to be a weapon. It's just the most obvious thing that gets in the fucking way. But we nerf around it. That one card that can even survive nerfs. Unbelievable, bro. It's A tier. I don't want to, like... It's probably S tier, to be honest. People have voted in my channel that the one card, play that one card that wins the game, is the worst thing that happened to the game. That's what they voted for. Everything else, I mean, I talk about Borkler Stone. Is it as powerful? Pretty much. Pretty much S tier. If we just look deep enough. But we have to get 20 points or more to get S tier. That one card, if you discover it, it's so bad. So there's discover bans at this point. Instead of nerfing the fucking cards, they have to ban certain fucking effects from happening. Like, are you that stupid, Blizzard? Oh yeah, and Warlock. We started with Warlock, and we sort of go for full circle, because there's this that draws this. And that's the main one, the main culprit of a one card. One card that wins the game successfully. Titans are even worse, because they have ridiculous effects, and you can choose which one you want, which ridiculous effect you want. And because they can't attack, they have to have ridiculous effects for some reason. Just because you can't attack, like, fuck you, bro. They could just stop, you know, like you cast your stupid one effect and then they can attack next turn or whatever. But that would just be a normal minion. We can't have that. We can't have normal minions. We have to wait until Titans just, like, vomit the entire shit. And now they're banned from Discover Pool. If something gets banned from Discover Pool, why don't you just fucking design it properly? But fuck it. Let's keep it at A tier. I can push it. Push through it. We did it. High rolling, boys. So this is the saltiest thing for Reynad, I would imagine. That's what he's known for talking about RNG for a couple hours, I would imagine. Yet again, we can look through the collection and see all the RNG cards that we fucking hate really badly. The first RNG card is obviously drawing that one card. And then the second RNG is drawing that one Borkler. The S tier, you know, problem with the game. If you draw something from these, you know, categories from S or A tier, if you have enough armor to heal yourself back to full and all that shit to reset the game, if you have abilities to do all of these things, you have high rolls, and you have shut down your opponents pretty much. You know, their strategy can be just toast. So you have to be very careful not to fucking fall trap into this high roll thing. But it is what it is. You have to calculate the odds all of a sudden. Now it's a math game. Draw the stupid, you know, Borkler. Whether you have it or not, it's a pretty big deal. Whether you draw enough undead, it's a pretty big deal. Whether you draw your goddamn weapon. But again, that's just one card. Can we find more RNG moments? This one was pretty big deal. Reno is still a big deal, but it's another one of those one card moments. They're kind of stitched together. So how do we find unique stuff about this? This is very interesting. The package. You have to still draw the package as well. It's very difficult when it's so small. When it relies on rolling, pretty much. But we're not talking about RNG, are we? There's still Ignis in the game. And that shit can high roll because it has Wind Fury. There's certain aspects of the card that can be high roll in and of itself, not just because you have drawn Ignis and activated Ignis, and all of these can be high rolled too. But after you activate the Ignis, you can discover another high roll for yourself. An exact maximum power level thing that was never addressed. And can kill your opponent. The RNG Borkler. Well, this one's not RNG. This is actually normal. You will have a certain expectation when you play this. What happens? This one's a little bit RNG. The high roll of burning a card, the correct card. That one card that you have to play because there's that one card, but they actually burn your shit. Wow. Alright. There's two ways to do it. With the monkey and with the 4-drop legendary that gives you stuff in hand. That is a cool thing. But I would imagine it's a problem. High roll. This is the fucking most annoying fucking high roll in the game. Play this 3-drop spell, 4-drop spell, 5-drop spell. The fucking nuts. There's this thing as well. The elemental high roll. I've been able to summon this on turn 3 and crush my opponents. That's it. That's my commentary, bro. Just, they die. They can't handle things that, when you mana cheated so many things very fast. That's the biggest high roll, is the first few turns. There's this fucking garbage in the game that solely relies on RNG. Most of the time, Excavate Treasure is a high roll if it's a board player. Because now they have added those. They have added this. We had this thing. This is a high roll as well. Ogrefist Boulder. There's certain things, they're not quite like the others. I would have to tell you that. So there's so much RNG here. Well, I guess it's just Excavate. It's just a fun thing. But then you have to draw Excavates too, and there's an Excavate Treasure that you might really need in order to high roll yourself. Which is why I don't exactly like the mechanic. It contains Borklers and high roll moments when they have exactly what they need to obliterate you. Again, drawing these like ridiculously powerful cards in general. They don't have to be the card, but they have to be the card that kills you. And then all of a sudden you're pretty salty about that card. Even if it's not a meta player. Or sometimes you low roll. But that's not what we're talking about. We split that category of being unlucky. In Hearthstone, you're capable of never really getting unlucky. But you can high roll. You can get very lucky. Because Hearthstone always give you like a generic amount of stats and all that shit, and you can like play optimally. You never feel unlucky unless you're really trying to draw something. Trying to draw an answer. You have enough Borklers to like survive. You have enough options to, you know, live long enough to be somewhat generally lucky, right? But all of a sudden, like, if high rolls are very important and people are leaning towards that, like, it's just such a frustrating experience. Where a high roll can win the game. But it's complicated. It's very complicated, guys. Yeah, another high roll can be on a specific turn, play a specific card, into another specific card. Just have a perfect curve, basically. That's the last thing I can say. Put this at C, I guess? I don't think this moves anymore. But let's watch this. Because this is literally made out of high rolls. You can make content out of it, which I'm not too upset about. Yeah. There are these, like, board definitions that literally just happens. Yeah, okay. Like, deciding factors. You have this giant minion. They can't target it, but they still high roll some fucking discover effect. Or removal or bullshit like that. And it's just the most degenerate thing, but... I don't know. I don't think it's a problem, though, when that happens. Just a special little moment that you want to forget. Let me remember what things I've reviewed already, so I don't do it twice. We review 1 card per turn. We review armor. We review snap. Game delaying cards. Mana cheating, no cap. It all costs 0 mana. When you really want it. Rushstone. Pressure creep. 2 mana 3/3. Mini set over nerves. My favorite. Everything is a battle cry. Lifesteal. So we haven't reviewed this thing. Alright, no minions. Even though I talked about it. Borklers put you in a situation where there's never any minions. Where your opponent tries to not play minions. But minion combat is the most important thing to the game. I would say you would not find highlights where there's no minions on board. It's impossible to highlight anything where there's no minions, right? There always has to be minions when the highlight happens. Actually, here are no minions on one side. So technically, kinda sucks. In general case, I would still imagine... Like, there's some minions here. You have to constantly react. But there's no minions here. What? So, okay, I was wrong, I guess. I don't know. In this case, I would think about classes, if they like playing minions or not. Death Knight is fine. Death Knight wants to play minions. Demon Hunter, not so much, just wants to play that one card. They generally don't have minions to play, so understandable. But it's kind of cringe that there's no good minions being printed, like just a generic good minion. They don't even fucking design it properly. So we can't even play minions because there's no good minions. Like, there's shit like this. Shit like this. All of this shit that could have been a good minion, we rely on spells instead. What the fuck, man? Yeah, guys, I hope you're happier because we only reviewed like five things. So much better than the last episode, wasn't it? I'll watch this video and bring back all those things. They're still gonna be in the box of problems, but I'll put them in the categories because we're finishing everything all at once. I'll do hours and hours, for as long as it takes, to talk about everything in detail, all these problems in detail, because you must understand, this video has to serve not just the audience for entertainment purposes, but Blizzard for entertaining purposes, to avoid these problems. As many problems as you can avoid in your gameplay as well, you're gonna have more fun with the game. Or as many of them you can understand, play around them, sometimes take advantage of them if you want to, you know, desperately be powerful in the game. All of this matters. Anyways, wait, I am so dumb. It's literally here. And I put it at B tier. The no minions thing. Alright, fair enough. We can still talk about it one more time if we want to. See, my intuition is correct. And I'll put these at the side just to make sure I don't duplicate anything. We decided that lifesteal is S tier. That is crazy to me. I can just evaluate giant cards as like super threat. It was a big threat back in the day, yeah. But it does delay the game as well. It's just genuinely weird thing. I just kind of think it's not S tier. Hollow Hound is the worst card imaginable. This was the start. Yes, yes, yes. This was nerfed because it was out of control, crazy game resetting bullshit. It's hard to play a card like this, though. So maybe I was just wrong. I try to play it, but it's just like hard. When this comes down, it can be removed. Lifesteal at least can be removed, but the way you remove it, it's a little bit cringe. I think it goes down to A tier. That it's really, really bad, but there's not that many cards, necessarily. It depends on how many cards right now are in Standard. So, for every page, 1 point, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. That one's annoying as fuck. 5. 6. There's nothing annoying here. I don't know, it's supposed to go to A tier, but it's gonna get worse. I'm pretty sure lifesteal is gonna be overprinted. It's an evergreen bullshit, basically, right now. You must understand, again, I can't do high-quality videos. But what I can do is just work for a day and show you guys what happens. What can I give you in a day? Or what can I squeeze in an hour without editing and all that shit? It's something you can do, and you can do better if you spend a week on a video. So if you have problems, you'll have to solve them yourself. I'm sorry, guys. Snap. Someone said Snap is terrible in the comments, that it has bad numbers. I don't know what bad numbers they talking about. We're gonna talk about let's bring up some stats. Marvel Snap was more popular than Hearthstone, and Hearthstone was insanely popular when it started. And now it's, you know, pretty decent competitor. That's it. Marvel Snap simply doesn't have some special type of content where you can craft a very intricate deck and show some really cool stuff. But besides that, like, also it doesn't have like creators, because that's what happens due to competition. Like, people are desperate to find good creators for Marvel Snap, and you know, most of them are still in Hearthstone. It's just what it is. It's going down, and it's interesting to see what's gonna happen. But the numbers don't fucking look bad. A card game that's in first place is gonna perform at least twice as good, and it's gonna default, which has defaulted as of today to exactly twice as good, and I think this is just gonna be the proper default value. It's not gonna go down that fast, but we'll see. I'm not disappointed. I don't know why anyone would say Snap bad, because that's just wrong. Like, it's clearly long. Like, any competitor at all is good. What are we talking about? But there's just some weird people who have weird problems with my video. that I cannot highlight that much. I can't give them the spotlight because they're just that fucking wrong. So even though people complain about my video being too long or whatever, they can't even contribute to my video in any way, in any significant way. So a dude tried and then he failed. Two more things he said. Playing one card per turn, but literally you gave an example of playing Fan Totem or whatever. The Wheel of Death into this. And that's 2 cards, in his opinion. These are not 2 cards, my friends. A 0-cost card is not a card. You can combine it with something. It's a combination of cards. It's not a card. It's not 2 cards, though. Because you can't replace this with anything. That's the whole point. You can't replace this card. You either have it or you don't. You either boost Wheel of Death or you don't. You have to play this and have a variety of options that you want to play next. So you actually have to think and not just play one card in that particular turn and fail. Of course, you can nitpick my videos, that's fine. I'm gonna, comment on it. But don't pretend that you're smarter than me. Like, that's fucked up. Like, you have to do a better video than me. That's the only way you're gonna be smarter than me. You can't just pretend. It's frustrating to me to listen to some bullshit like that. That was the one card. We're gonna touch it, but technically, let's keep going. Keep playing that Surfer. The bots. Funny enough, I don't really care about the bots, but they have the fundamental problems, right? Why Blizzard can't clear the bots? They're not interesting to play against, they're usually weak, but they play very fast. So eventually you're gonna run away from them. They're not gonna be a big problem. And sometimes it's actually fun to fuck around with bots. The fact that there's something to bot also indicates some kind of problem, but I'm gonna respect, put it at E tier. I don't think it's a high priority target to kill all the bots. I don't care. It's the fun thing that's in Hearthstone. Even if your opponent is botting, they can't break the game. Like in shooters, they don't have advantages. They're still just botting the game and they're gonna fucking lose. Right? So you can have bots. And this shows that the tier list can have anything. I'm just testing the idea of how annoying and frustrating it is. The biggest problem with bots is content creation is really terrible. We're not facing real opponents. But it is what it is. A lot of games have to result into having bots because they don't have enough players. So sometimes bots pretty good when the alternative is way worse. Testing grounds. This is a very new one that I came up with. But overall, the idea is not new at all. It's just something nobody talks about. And it's also known as Tavern Brawl, bro. It's just despicable thing. Tavern Brawl. There's nothing to test the game with. But Tavern Brawl is trying to test different mechanics, different ways that the game could play out. That would be really cool. But none of these are implemented. We just got Cho'Gall. And Whizbang is pretty cool too. But it's not really pushing the limits of fun in the game, of testing what actually works, because nothing fundamentally changes in the core aspect of the game. So what are we actually testing? We're the test subjects. We get a bunch of random cards, and we have to break the game many times, and Blizzard has to ignore all the nerfs because too hard to actually fix the game. They're just entitled to first place in the card game industry, and they don't want to fucking do anything no more. But testing grounds, we have a little bit of theory crafting moment in the game. But we should be doing that separately. The whole standard should be separate, away from the main game. Whatever we have, the newest content should stay away from us. There should be testing grounds first for the new content. And you would say, like, but I want new expansions. Yeah, you play testing grounds if you want the new stuff. But there should be a separate mode where the things have been tested and approved. You know, this is why we have rotations, because we have to constantly throw away the old stuff and get the new stuff, when instead we could have things that have been tested, approved, and put into the real playgrounds. Instead, we have to constantly rebuild playgrounds because they get fucking nuclear swiped. They get really boring very fast. We have to change all these cards, constantly add new cards. It's the most desperate thing I've ever seen. And most importantly, with testing grounds, you no longer have to nerf cards viciously, but you still can, because it's not going to affect the main game mode. But it's just weird. We don't have this. We don't have this in any game, period. This is not invented yet. Just like 15 years ago, we didn't have a smartphone. Testing grounds is not invented, and probably a fucking big invention. Allowing people to test the game actively, because the game is actively changing, so it has to be actively tested. We can't just be test subjects that may or may not get nerfs that we want. You know, the game is just completely unstable in that sense. It's constantly changing, and a lot of people just can't settle down with the fucking game. They get tired of not being able to play their favorite deck or whatever, right? So in a way, I'm tackling the rotation thing again. It's very difficult for me to talk about this at the moment. Maybe it's gonna change. I'll put it at D because it matters. It's the easiest thing. You create an expansion, and cards that are generally too powerful, they can go to wilds. And cards that are not... So you don't have to nerf anything, you don't have to change anything, if that's how you want to do things. If nerf is too complicated for Blizzard, they can have testing grounds. This replacing nerf, I feel like it's fucking C tier though. It literally replaces nerfs. You know, it's an alternative to nerfs. So it's a very good idea for them to think about. I'm gonna put it at D. One card per turn there. There's this one. We got him. Got that out of the way. Lifesteal, got that out of the way. Alright. Mage. Went full circle, bro. Holy fucking shit. Funny enough, I don't have to give you guys anything but this. Type in Mage. I said type in Mage. And delete it. There's reasons to delete Mage. I believe there's 2 videos, 3 videos. Alright? This one, that one, and this one. Alright, and accumulated significant amount of views, by the way. That's a very, very cool series at this point. 1,000 views. Significant. Why do I say Mage should be deleted? Because it's the most degenerate gameplay sequence you can find in Hearthstone. They have the most stupidest shit that they play. And they mainly prioritize spells as well, so there's that. Mage can have armor for some reason. That's a problem. Mage has Borklers, and I don't like that. Mage likes to high roll with the stupid Yogg nonsense. Mage has OTKs. Constantly. Can freeze your board. What? Secrets. Degenerate secrets sometimes. Unbelievable nonsense. Everything that Mage is, the identity of Mage, is terrifyingly annoying, bro. Just to This class just exists to annoy the shit out of you, bro. From the very beginning of Mage existence, I can't stand this class, bro. The Mage actually pushed Reno. The Mage did the worst thing imaginable and pushed Reno into this particular state where it makes minions disappear. Why? Why Mage? Why Mage got the thing? They're the most annoying, I swear. They're constantly getting OTKs as if like there's nothing they can do. There's no minions they can play some kind of super combo. No, it's just spell bullshit in your face. Even the fucking hero power mage was just degenerate garbage. There's cards in Mage Arsenal that they can't not play in the deck. There's a lot of shitty cards too. But we covered everything. Flamework, another fucking OTK bullshit, Exodia Mage, Freeze Mage, just a never-ending fucking... What? Please delete! Like, if you don't like OTKs, why do we have Mage? And if Blizzard does like OTKs, what is wrong with you? Mage has nothing to offer to the game. Right now, it's a pretty terrible class, but like, holy shit. It's not terrible at making me feel like ass. I'm putting this at B tier. But I will double check. Every single mechanic that Mage has annoys the shit out of me. Every single one. There's not a single one that I like. But I was able to make Fireworks Mage. So that's kind of cool, right? I guess we have to stop there. It is what it is. Just, it's lame. Whatever. It's possible to kill Mage, but the whole time you're just fighting. It's a one-sided fight against insanity. See you guys next time. This is over for episode 2. And you stuck around, press that like button on a hater of your favorite hater to make them feel good and make me feel bad. And see you guys next time. What's going on? Bonus meme, bro. Bonus meme. Oh my god, it's... No? What? OTK? Let's go, bro. Enabled. Somehow Trolldens video was slow. What happened? Anyway, see. Bye-bye. Next episode, technically, because I'll keep recording this. Holy shit.